So for those of you that haven't met me before, Marty Harrington. I've been doing scheduling work for quite some time. Started the PSIT, Pilot Scheduling Improvement Team, back in 2006. Took over the vice position 2011 and the committee chairman from 2017 till today. Pilot Scheduling Improvement Team, we have approximately 30 pilots that are builders. We have a dozen reviewers. We have the hotel committee underneath me and the fatigue committee. Also with this new CBA schedule, we began what's called the Secondary Line Replacement Working Group, SLRWG. So I'll go through what each committee does briefly, or what each portion of my committee does, and then if you have any questions after, feel free. But the Pilot Scheduling Improvement Team, like I said, it's approximately 30 pilots that are builders. 13 days prior to bid pack publication, we get a preliminary set of pairings, and we go through all those pairings. It's over 2,500 pairings every month on the prelims. We have our specialized software that we review the pairings, and after we get the pairings, on that Friday, we go over them, and we send an input into the company asking for changes to those pairings. For example, the FedEx MD-11 for July had 500 preliminary pairings. They requested changes on 50 of those pairings, and the company fixed half of our requests. So the company weighs cost, what is the improvement to the schedule, is it going to help build out lines, reduce number of departures, and all that is managed with on the company side, their cost to what the pilot input into the scheduling comes out. After the prelims, the following Wednesday, we have a conference call. All the PSIT are on the conference call. The company SIG, it's Pat Demento's pilot from company side, and we have a manager, Ron Blake's on the conference call. And we go through any issues we have with the pairings that let's say they didn't fix a pairing. We think it doesn't comply with the CBA. We have an issue with the hotel. We use common sense when we ask for some of these requests. And if there's anything, potential disputed pairings coming forward from that we'll bring up on the conference call. Typically, conference call lasts about 2 hours. Our record is over 6 hours during one peak. We were 6 hours. It was the longest conference call of my entire career, and it was painful to step through. After the conference call that Friday, we'll get the final pairings, and over the weekend, all the PSIT and reviewers will review the final pairings. We all come into Memphis on that Sunday, and we have our in-brief with the company Monday afternoon. The company will state what their targets, as far as BLGs are concerned, what target they want us to attempt to hit. We'll bring any build issues to the company we think there might be an issue, and we move on from there. Tuesday of the week, my vice chairman, Mike Piercy, and I will have our dispute meeting with the company side, and any other issues that we're having we'll discuss with management at that point in time. During build week, we'll have the SIG quarterly. We attend the fatigue risk management quarterly, any other meetings we might have during that week. On Thursday, we have the closeout. Thursday morning, we have a closeout discussing where we're at, how the bid packs went together, and if we had any issues we would like to see addressed moving forward. One thing I want to let everybody know, the company builds the pairings, and we build the lines. So if there's an issue with the pairing, we have to ask the company, say, can you change this internal to the pairing? Day-night swaps. Is there short and layovers? Is there a GT issue in this pairing? The pairings that go through Memphis that we hub turn, all the shorter pairings, we build those out. The PSIT puts those pieces together. Pilot feedback's important. We get some feedback and say, hey, why don't you match this city with this city? Or can we have more pure layovers in this city? And we try to get back on any of those issues as soon as possible with the pilots. What is our line building philosophy? We've gotten emails I've seen on social media that we share the pain. I told my guys, if I ever hear that term, you're fired. We do not share the pain. We build senior lines. We start with the senior lines, and you'd say part of it is garbage in, garbage out. If we get decent set of pairings from the company, the lines will look better. We do what we can with limits CBA restrictions. Nighttime duty limits are shorter than daytime duty limits. So we can't put together the pieces at night that we can during the day. Another email we got saying that we're leaving some pairings in open time. We leave nothing in open time if we can build out a line. The reason we do that is because everyone here would rather have a regular line than get a secondary line. Secondary lines now have become the most junior set of lines, thanks to the company, even below reserve in every bid pack. They are now the most junior lines. After the build week, that Thursday, is when we start writing the SIG notes. So Thursday afternoon, the piece that all give me the inputs to the SIG notes, we compile them, I write the top matter, put them all together for the SIG notes, and send them to the company the following day. Friday, by noon, they typically have them. It takes the company a day to review. We push them to that. It would take longer. I'd be like, I need them back in a day. I need them back in a day. Sometimes they'll work over the weekend and they will review the SIG notes on the weekend, but typically we get them back on Monday morning. I send them Friday at noon. We typically pester them to get them back at no later than noon on Monday. The reason being is if the bids are published and the SIG notes come out after, guys don't have a vested interest to read the SIG notes anymore. So we want more information getting out to pilots, so that's why I push to get these things out. But it is a 2,000 to 5,000 word document that we put out every month, and we write them, compile them, edit them. At least half a dozen people screen them in 5 days, including the weekend we put them out. So sometimes they're not as polished as I'd like, but we need to get the information out in a timely manner for the pilots, and I think we do a decent job at getting that done. Trip Services Committee, Mark Staffy J is my chairman. He deals with the company, Trip Services Committee. He has a quarterly meeting with them as well. His group inspects all of the contract hotels. Mark's retiring next year. We're actively looking for people to help out Mark's committee.